Hey, what's up you guys? This is Sentai22 here. What do you think it would have been like if Saban adapted Hurricane? Andros is not a great leader. Super Question Time! Starts now. Hey, what's up you guys? This is Sentai22 here. How you guys all doing? And welcome to another episode of Super Question Time, where I'll answer your questions. Anything Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, or even anything nerd related, I will answer them for you. So let's get started now, shall we? First question comes from Sonic Adventure DX, and he writes, what are your favorite outfit designs for Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, and Metal Heroes? For Super Sentai, I definitely like the Shinkenger outfits. I didn't like them at first, but I kind of grew on it. I definitely like the kanji on the helmet. It just looks really cool and real original to any other Sentai shows. Don't get me wrong, I like all the other Sentai series costume designs, but for some reason Shinkenger kind of pops out of all the rest of the Sentai series. Other than Go Ranger and Shinkenger, that's about it. Kamen Rider, I have to say Hibiki, again, originality. I wish it could have deserved a lot of popularity, but it just didn't. I mean, it didn't really act like a Kamen Rider show, but it's very unique. I also like Kabuto, of course, because it's my first Rider series. I mean, the suit designs were very streamlined, and it was the first series in pretty much decades to have a bug themed, and I really doubt they'll go back to the bug theme again. As for Ultraman, I definitely like the Nexus design. I definitely like the black and the red in the middle parts. You know, it's really cool design. Also, for Metal Hero, I would have to say Metalder, because I just like the whole red and blue design, because I like the circuitry that's coming around the suit. It looks really awesome. You know, and of course it does kind of remind you of Kikaider a little bit. So, okay, the next question comes from Brian Moran, and he writes, how do you think Saban will explain Jason David Frank's character Tommy is Super Mega Force power with the Green and White Ranger, cause the Tommy lost the Green Ranger powers and the White Ranger powers were destroyed, so how can Saban explain how Tommy got his powers back? Oh, Brian, you don't know anything about Power Rangers. Nah, I'm just kidding. I mean, look, it's the Power Ranger universe. There's no need to explain. I mean, there's no need to explain why there are horses on the moon or why the Rangers in Forever Red can breathe through space. But it's a lot of possibilities as to why the Green Ranger and the White Ranger powers are restored. It could be Sentinel Knight, because he can restore powers as well. You have to also think about SPD. They can also restore, I mean, they have like an archive of Power Ranger powers that they can revive. You also have West Time Force Ranger. He can pretty much essentially contact the Rangers and basically bring a person back, and you know, they can bring a person from a different time period and bring them to the present. It's also other possibilities like alternate timeline, like what if Jason David Frank didn't lose his Green Ranger powers. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities out there, Brian. I'm sure Saban will explain them clearly. Well, at least some of it, but I just can't really say for sure. So, okay, the next question comes from Shadow Moon 89Z, and he writes, do you think that Saban will adapt the new Hurricaneger 10 years after movie for the Ninja Storm reunion if the actors are willing to come back? I highly doubt it, because I don't think Saban doesn't want to be reminded of the Disney era. I mean, not to say they own the rights to the Disney era seasons, but I think that they just don't want to do it, you know, because it was the first season from the Disney banner, and so I just really doubt that they don't. I mean, it's kind of sad really that none of the Disney actors are gonna show up in, you know, this kind of big mega war I mean, the cast mostly consisted of mostly Saban era cast, which I find it a shame, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, as a person that grew up throughout the entire franchise of Power Rangers, I'm really glad to see that. But for people that grew up during the Disney era, I kind of feel like they're left out, in my opinion. But like I said before, I'll watch it regardless. I mean, I think it'll be a pretty good season. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say, oh, it's going to be the best Power Rangers season ever. But I'm just going to, just be happy with what we get. You know what I mean? So, okay, the last question comes from XGray2012, and he writes, sorry to hear about your PC. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. Anyway, here's my question for the next Super Question time. 1. What do you expect to see for the following Power Ranger season in 2015? 2. Will you be doing a review of any of the SIC Kamen Rider figures? First question, I would expect Power Rangers to leave Nickelodeon for Cartoon Network. They can put the rerun episodes on Cartoon Network, but they can put the current new Power Rangers on Vortex. In that way, they don't have to lose any ratings, because broadcast ratings is still very fragile for kids shows. It isn't as it used to be during the Fox Kids or Kids WB era, so they have to put that on the cable network at least just to get some ratings on there too. So yeah, I expect that, and expect a Power Ranger spin-off too with Power Rider, aka Kamen Rider. Who knows? I'm hoping for that. And your second question, I don't really collect the SIC Kamen Riders. For those of you who don't know what SIC is, basically those kind of mutantized Kamen Rider figures. I don't really like them too much. I mean, they look cool though. They look really realistic looking figures, really awesome. But the thing is, I don't see that much interest in them. So, alright guys, that's about it. Join me next time for the next Super Question Time. If I didn't catch your questions, you can always repost them on the comment section. So, and also don't forget to subscribe and join me on Facebook. This is Sentai22, and thanks for watching.